What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Rugal. Before Jackie and Sarah show up in the game, I want to kind of give you guys an overview of all of the characters that we have so far, all the Polygon characters, all the Virtua Fighter 5 characters, and just kind of give you guys an idea of maybe what character you might want to use your selector for in the Polygon event. You know, you have a choice of one of these three characters, and every single player in the game, for the most part, should be able to go at least to this pity and get this selector, right? So I want to give you guys an idea of maybe which one of these characters you might want to pull for. And before we mention talking more about that, I do want to mention, guys, that they are advertising Boss Showdown starting tomorrow, which is phenomenal. My face is actually in the way, but that is awesome, guys. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of rewards we're going to get in that, what kind of rewards are going to be in the next upcoming towers, although you're going to need specific Virtua 5 fighters in order to play that tower. I'm really curious to see what's going to be in those things. So let's talk about all these characters and let's talk about, why you may or may not want to pull for them. We'll start off with the Virtua 5 characters. Now, in my testing, guys, I did a live stream 2 days ago where I compared all 6 of these characters, these 4 here, and then obviously Pai Chan and Rugal, all 6 of them at level 90 with no 3 PGs. All of them had a Rugal set on them, and all of them had just 2 regular cooldown cards on them. They were all built exactly the same, all max capsules, and so on. So I want to just give you guys an idea first about the damage, starting off with the weakest one. And the weakest one, actually, damage-wise, was this free version of Akira. Now, this free version is going to be a really great character for all of us to have because, he is going to be able to go to A5 for most players. And that is nice. But the big thing about the character is it's not really so much his leadership. I mean, that's really good for Virtua 5 characters. But over time, we know how power creep sets in, and it's just going to be more useful to have a character that can apply buffs to other characters. Those kind of characters last the test of time. And the thing about Akira, since most people are going to be able to get him A5, is the fact that he does have this. Now, this is sweet, right? The reset attack cooldown increase all team members strike scale damage by 50% for 15 seconds is awesome, guys. This is a superb buffing character for us, for characters with strike skills that actually work really, really well in the Kim Cap 1 event, right? Where we can try to get that EX generic memory. So for this event, Netmarble did a really good job by giving us a free character. Granted, it's going to take some time to get him leveled up, but that last week, you might be able to use this guy and really apply some extra strike skill damage for your strike skill damage dealing characters to do really, really well in that Kim event. So that's pretty damn cool that they did give us this character. I mean, that's nice, man, And of course, he also has the decreased defenses by 80%. The Virtua Fire buff is really, really sweet. And it's got a nice kit, right? Increasing all team members' critical rate and critical damage, strike skill damage. I mean, this is for everybody. That is really, really OP. So even when he's level 90, he can be a useful character in there. And when Blue have an advantage against Kim, that's going to be really, really OP. And that's something else. Whenever he's leveled up, you'll be able to use this character, in the Kim event as a damage dealer. Hopefully do well, but his damage is pretty lackluster. In all honesty, guys, like I said, he's the weakest amongst all of them, but he's a damn good support. The next character, if we're going from the weakest to the strongest, is Sarah. And Sarah's testing, and by the way, guys, in Akira's testing, if I look here really quick, Akira got about 600 million points against Rugal and Guild Raid. And Sarah here got about 690 million points against Rugal and Guild Raid. And something I want to note is that the damage differences between these characters might change, especially when you have them awaken. When you have them awaken and you can spam their skills over and over and over, or especially if you have them at A5 and you have their EX cores unlocked, it might be a different story as far as damage, right? I mean, when it comes to support characters like Akira and Sarah, not really going to be that much of a difference. But for damage dealers like Akira himself, the actual Virtua 5 character in the limited banner, then it's probably going to be a different story as far as your damage output, right? I mean, we've seen characters that appear to be weak when they were level 90 or A2, A3, whatever. But whenever you got them at A5, they just become ridiculously nuts, right? So that is something also to keep in mind and taking into account whenever you're comparing them. So again, this is all just level 90 comparison. But Sarah is a character that you can get from the Polygon event. She does have a leadership that's good for Polygon characters. I mean, the increased attack by 50% and critical rate by 15%, and the decreased attack cooldown is good for them, especially in something like Guild Raid. But the thing about Sarah, guys, is that, she just has this decent EX core. It's not as good as the free version of Akira, in my opinion, like increasing critical rate by 20% is really good. The problem is we have characters now, especially with card sets equipped to certain characters, where their critical rate is already going to be maxed out. This is not going to really benefit those specific characters, but the characters that don't have max critical rate, like from their cores, it's going to be a different story. This will make a big difference for those characters. But the bad thing about this is Sarah's a character that you got to spend money on. But if you have her, right, and you do spend money, you'll get this EX core. But I really don't think this EX core really worth shooting for unless Sarah's one of your favorites, right? But the thing that is nice about the character, if you're just going to pull for a selector, is that she does have the, decreased defenses by 90%. That is nuts for a support buff. And here's where it gets really awesome for her. The increased purple and red element fighter basic attack damage by 300% for 12 seconds upon landing a skill. Now, basic attack damage, guys, is really, really awesome for your purple and red fighters, right? Unfortunately, Shanae is a green character, and he doesn't really benefit from this. And Kim Capwan actually has a big basic attack damage increase also, but he is not a purple or a red. So it's a nice little bonus, like to buff up the basic damage for, say, like in that Kim Capwan event. That would help out a lot. But the next skill here does increase purple and red element fighter attack by 100% and increase target damage received by 70%. So she's got a lot of nice little buffs, especially for purple and red fighters. And if you're looking to buff up purple and red fighters, then she would probably be a character that you might want to pick from that selector. I mean, she might be a good choice for you guys. Nice little buffs. I mean, increased attack by 100% is awesome, guys. We've used this with Athena for a long time. And along with her increased target damage received by 7%, decreased defenses by 9%, she's really an insane support, especially for purple and red fighters. So if you have a purple and red that you have maxed out, or one that you plan on maxing out that you already have, and you want a character that can buff them up really good, Sarah would be a really good choice. Now, the next character from weakest to strongest is actually my man, which is Rugal. Rugal here came in third, and Rugal actually was able to get about 7 billion in guild rate in a full run, right? Now, he does have a nice little leadership with the increase in team attack by 30% and basic attack damage by 20% and active skill damage by 20%. That's pretty damn nice. It's a nice little mixed blend of leadership, but it's not going to be optimal for the most part. It could be a useful leadership, but not really optimal. But Rugal is pretty wild because whenever he goes to A5, this is where things get really crazy. Now, again, just like Sarah, this is a character you're going to have to spend money on. If you bought the KOF pass for any of these polygon characters, then you're going to be able to get 2 selectors from there, right? You'll be able to use 1 selector from the polygon event where you can actually A3 the character. But they won't be A5. In order to get these EX cores, they need to be A5. But Rugal is pretty wild because whenever he is at A5 and you have the EX core unlocked, whenever he has 5 bars of PG, he deals 1,000,000% of attack to all enemies and self. It's like a little self-destruct, something similar to 2B and Nier Automata. If you guys have ever played that game, she actually has a self-destruct in it, which is pretty interesting. But his PvP exclusive removes all buffs from all enemies and self, additionally deals damage to 10,000% of attack to all enemies and self. And the thing about Rugal is, even though he applies all that damage to himself, he does have a nice immunity core to where he gains an insane heal, huge heal, kind of like the EX version of Rugal, where he just heals up completely, and then he also has a decreased damage received. So even when he self-destructs, he still will survive afterwards, which is pretty damn cool. I mean, and the damage that thing does is dumb. I do plan myself on A5ing Rugal, but I'm kind of waiting for the next events, the Boss Showdown, the next upcoming towers, to see what all is available in there before I spend any more money on that event. But he's really a character that is really all about himself, which is really no surprise for Rugal. He doesn't really do anything for anyone else. I mean, it's really all about him. I mean, the increased target damage received by 100% for 15 seconds upon landing a skill on a target with HP 50% or lower, it's not going to be really the greatest in something like Guild Raid. It could be, I guess, useful in Guild Boss Challenge because there is like a meter on the life bar to where it does get down to a certain percentage to where you'd actually would get these buffs. But really, when it comes to Rugal, guys, just like I said a second ago, he really is all about buffing up himself. The increased own attack by 800% is crazy upon landing a skill on target with HP 50% or higher. That is nuts. So in Guild Raid, this is going to be godly. In the Guild Boss Challenge, this is nuts, right? Also, he just has all these ridiculous dots and deals additional damage to 10,000% of own attack when he's applying all these crazy dots with a 10% chance to reset skill of God Press for each effect on the enemy. Like I said, guys, he's just all about doing tons and tons of damage. They decrease defenses by 90% for 15 seconds upon landing a skill on a target with HP 50% or below. And see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, he's kind of like a niche character that is freaking nuts and increase own active skill damage by 500%. I mean, he's got some crazy buffs, guys, whenever he's going against opponents with 50% HP or higher. But it's really just for himself. Like, that's it, right? So this is just a character personally that, you know, I would only pull from that selector if he was one of your favorites, right? We do have the availability of EX generic memories, and you could get this character. And if he's like one of your favorites, you could, over time, try to get him to A5, because God knows when we'll get another character that has these kinds of effects. I mean, seriously, guys, he self-destructs and just kills everything in the freaking picture. Like, he destroys everything. It's really wild. Like, he's nuts, man. And then, you know, his finisher also deals a ridiculous amount of damage. Just crazy stuff, guys. He's got a really wild kit. I'm not going into detail about every single thing because I'm going to review about all of these characters, but I'm just kind of trying to give you guys the gist of all of them, maybe who you might want to use for that selector. The next character, guys, from weakest to strongest is actually Pai Chan. Pai Chan is actually like the next one. Now, Pai Chan was able to get about 7.4 billion in Guild Raid. Now, she does have a nice leadership with the increased extreme fighter strike skill by 50%, basic attack damage by 30%, attack speed by 2%. This is honestly a very good leadership. It's pretty damn sweet, especially in, say, like these events that we're getting, like the Alexandrite event, the Kim event. Really nice, especially with the extra basic attack damage increase. That is nuts. But the thing about Pai Chan, guys, and this is kind of similar to Sarah, only better, is that when she's A5, you know, reset attack cooldowns and increase ultimate strike skill damage, the same as Akira. And then also you can change it to reset attack cooldowns, increase basic attack damage of all team members, including yourself, by 50%. So for like a character like, say, Kim or Shanae, this is nuts. This is a really good support passive for those characters. And any other character, we get that basic attack damage increase. And then her skills are just crazy now. She does have the increased damage received by 100% for 12 seconds. Godly support, guys. Even at level 90, she's going to have all this. And then increase yellow, red, and green element fighter attack by 300%. So again, for Kim Kapwan, the new poly version, she's going to be an insane buff. A really good buff for him because she can buff up the basic attack damage. And she just buffs up 300% of the attack, guys. That is crazy. And really, Pai Chan, that's really what she's going to be. It's probably a support more than anything. Even whenever you take her to A5, that's just what her EX score is screaming out, right? Increased strike skill damage, increased basic attack damage. These are just support buffs. But she also can heal her opponents, guys. Restores HP of all teammates, including herself, by 50% and power by 50%. Then decrease damage received of all teammates, including herself, by 99% for 3 seconds upon landing a skill. This is really OP support, right? Wish it wasn't 60 seconds, but still, it's good, right? And then she also has, you know, the apply cold spell, right? Well, I don't want to get any more of that, but the 300% increase to attack, guys, and the 100% increased target damage received for your fighter, especially yellow, red, and green. So if you want to have a super good support for your yellow, red, and green characters, Pai Chan is going to be it, guys. 300% attack is no joke. That is a huge buff for those characters, along with that 100% increased target damage received. That is nuts, man. So freaking strong. And her first skill is just going to be crazy for those characters and for herself. I mean, just a nutty support. The next character from weakest to strongest was actually this version of Akira. And I know you guys are thinking, what? Remember, guys, this is just a level 90 comparison. Now, Akira here, guys, is a yellow fighter, and that's pretty golden for a lot of players, no pun intended, but that's really awesome for a lot of players because yellow is where a lot of players are struggling. They need a good, strong yellow character. So Akira is going to be your man. He really will. He's really an awesome character. But you know, the increased extreme fighter attack by 50% and strike skill damage dealt by 50%. This is a very, very good leadership. And Akira really is a character that's just going to be a damage dealer, guys. I mean, increases own active strike skill damage by 100% and decreases own active skill cooldowns by 90%. Just crazy, crazy, guys. Like, he's literally got built-in concentrate for 10 seconds and increasing his own active strike skill damage by 100%. Just going to be nuts. And I will know what this is going to be like because I do plan on A5ing Akira. But just like what I said earlier about Rugal, I'm just kind of waiting and playing my cards right to try to alleviate how much money I'm actually spending in this update, right? You want to play your cards smart and you want to pick and choose what you actually want to buy so that way you get the most bang for your buck. But anyways, the EX core decreased the cooldown of Tiro Kanpo, charging by 100% for 4 seconds, which is concentrate, and activates max, blah, 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 without a charge gauge. I'm not even going to try to read that. I mean, it's really awesome, guys, as far as a damage dealer. You know, the increased target strike skill damage received by 150%. This is honestly really, really good as a support. Like, if you're using a character with strike skills, this is nice, guys. Like, they're going to be able to use this and then decreasing their defense by 90%. So, like, his first skills are really good support. But he only increases his own attack by 450%, which is just nuts, right? But it's only for him. But he can still be used as a support character due to what we just talked about a second ago, right? I mean, and yeah, this here, he just spams the living crap out of his second skill. Really, really nuts, right? And then, you know, increases own strike skill damage. So, I mean, he's really a character, guys, that is really all about buffing up himself, just making himself stronger for the most part. And once again, when you look at characters' EX cores, that really is the telltale as far as, you know, whether the character is going to be a damage dealer or whether or not they're just going to be a support character. It doesn't mean they're not strong. Pai Chan's strong. It's just she's really just going to be more of a support. And then we have the last character, which is Poly Kim Capwan. And from the testing I've done, guys, this guy at level 90 is just way stronger than the other characters. This guy ended up getting about 21 billion doing a complete solo in Guild Raid. 21 billion, my friends, at level 90. Kim is crazy. And this is a character that they gave us for free, which is awesome, guys. I mean, just lit like a Christmas tree. And with Pai Chan on the team with this guy, he's going to do a whole lot more damage. But the increased green element fighter basic attack by 80% is really awesome, especially for him, right? And he is going to be just a damage dealer for himself, guys, for the most part. With his EX core, like, he's got the same kind of core as Shun A, which is pretty nice, buffing up his basic attack damage. Really, really sweet. And then you have the dimensional barrier, which you need 3 bars of PG. It just resets active skill cooldowns. Nothing really major there, right? But he really just buffs up himself tremendously, guys, with the shock damage, increased own basic damage, attack damage by 5%. The increased damage received by 80% is still a really good support buff. That's still very, very nice. And then, you know, again, own basic attack damage, own critical damage, right? All these things are just buffing up himself. But the increased defense or decreased defenses by 70% again is a really good support passive, right? So you got a nice little combination of support as well as a damage dealer. But Kim's really a character that you really want to use as a damage dealer, guys. He really is nuts, just strong as hell. Like, all these buffs, man. Increased basic attack damage by 5% for 20 seconds and attack of all teammates, including self, by 60%. That's good, but 60% really isn't as good as 100% or 300%, like we talked about with the other support characters in Sarah and Pai Chan. He's really just going to be a damage dealer. Just nuts, guys. I was honestly shocked, no pun intended, that he was the strongest out of all of them by a large margin. Again, guys, when I did my little level 90 comparison, you guys can watch that live stream if you want to check out the actual runs. I was just blown away that Kim Capwan was over twice as strong as all the other characters. Just crazy. So hopefully that sheds some light, guys, on maybe what characters you might want to pull for, especially depending on the use that you're going to have for them in the game. And let me know how y'all doing in the game. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.